Welcome back to another Midlife Mark video. You join me in the van on my way to drop it off for a major service. It's coming up to, well, I've done 146,000 kilometers now, but also it's 5 years old this month. So it's going in for a major service to get a new cam belt, new water pump while the engine's open, gearbox oil change, coolant check, auxiliary belt, brake check, 2 new tyres on the front. So there's a lot going on. All the filters are going to be changed. A lot going on in this full service. I'm taking it to the little garage that fixed the blocked fuel filter, changed the blocked fuel filter from when I broke down recently. If you haven't seen that video and my opinion of Volkswagen service, then go and check that out. I'll link it here. He needs it for about 3 days, he says. So we're just pulling up to the garage in a second. I'm going to leave it with him, get the bus back into town. So if you want to see what all of this costs an independent garage, then do continue to watch. So I've just picked up the van. He had it for a day and a half, which was really good, a lot quicker than I thought it would be. So I'm just going to get back, get parked up, and then we'll run through what he's done and what the total cost was. So yeah, stand by. So guys, here we are. Just give you a rundown of work that was done on the van and what it cost. Now, bearing in mind, this is the first real major service it's had. Like I said, about 146,000 kilometers, 5 years old this month. So March 2026. I took delivery of it in March 2021. Seems like an age ago. But what I will say is, before I get into it, I still love driving the van. Like, I get in it and it's like driving it's new. Like, and after this service, it feels even more new. Like, I could tell before when I started the engine, one of the belts was squeaking a little bit. You could hear that, you know, so things were wearing, but now it just sounds amazing, feels amazing anyway. But yeah, let's get into it. So, major service, 146,000 kilometers, 5 years old, full timing belt kit change. So we got timing belt, which was about £70. I'm going to do this in pounds. You work it out in dollars. I've paid in Czech crowns because I live in Czech Republic, but I'll tell you what the total was in Czech crowns and in pounds at the end. So about £70 for the timing belt. It's about £70 for a timing belt tensioner. About £50 for idler pulleys, guide rollers. £70 for a water pump with gasket, front crankshaft oil seal housing and slash sealing flange, about £50. Engine oil filter, £10. Fuel filter we didn't do because we did it during the breakdown. If you haven't seen that video, go and see the breakdown and why I was so disappointed in VW service. Air filter, £20. Cabin slash pollen filter, £15. About 7 litres of engine oil because he did empty it out. So let's say £60 on that. Gearbox oil, about, I'm not sure how many litres of that, but let's say £30 on that. And then I asked him to put 2 new tyres on the front. So 2 new Continental tyres. They came out at about £300 for the pair. Okay, so all in all, looking at about £800 plus labour in Czech timing. It's a little bit cheaper than it is in the UK, but not always. So this was an independent garage, okay? Did all that work plus labour, turned it around in a day and a half, and it came out at 34,000 Czech crowns. Now, bear in mind, 9,000 of that was on tyres. So let's take that out because I could have gone anywhere for tyres. I got him to do them because he was able to do them. So you're looking at 25,000 crowns for a full timing belt kit and everything associated with it. Oil change, filter change, gearbox oil change, coolant check. He also checked my brakes, told me I've got about 30% left on brakes. They are wired in, so I'll get a warning anyway when they're wearing down. But again, they haven't been changed for 5 years since the van was new. So I'm surprised how much is left on them. But saying that, I do mostly motorway miles. I'm not an aggressive driver by any stretch of the imagination, so they won't have been heavily worn. There's not a lot of weight in the van. So yeah, I'm not surprised, a little bit surprised, but not overly surprised, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So 25,000 crowns, which is about £800 plus minus. So it's around about $1,000 for that full service, which now sets me up with a timing belt and all that stuff, water pump, idlers, rollers, pulleys, whatever it is, for the next 5 years or so, 150,000 kilometers. What he also did was he also told me that he's going to switch me from the long service life that VW had me on to the short service life. So now it's going to be every 15,000 kilometers rather than every 30,000 kilometers. So 15,000 kilometers or 1 year, I'll go back to him. The first one is an oil change, and then the second one will be an oil change with an inspection just to check everything's all right, maybe filters and all that sort of stuff. But all in all, my first experience of switching from VW dealership service to independent garage service, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. He could have said, yeah, you need new brakes, I'm going to charge you to do your brakes. He didn't. All through the work, he was sending me pictures, like various stages, so I could see what he'd taken out. He kept all the old parts in a bin to show me what he'd taken out, what he'd switched out. And as he was putting the new ones in, he was taking pictures and sending them to me. Very, very nice guy. Doesn't speak English. My Czech was good enough to get us through. We both understood each other. And he also services the ambulance fleet of a friend of mine. They've got a fleet of private ambulances, all built on the Transporter frame. So, he really knows what he's doing. And yeah, just very pleased, and won't go back to VW, I'm afraid. So, they've lost out because of the fuel filter fiasco. I found a local service station, a local garage that I feel comfortable using. Great communication, fair price. It's around about what I was expecting to pay anyway, so no great shocks there, and just generally happy. So that's what it's cost to get a major service done. Where are you? What have you paid for a similar level service? Let's start to compare UK prices, American prices, German prices. Just let me know where you are, what you paid for your timing belt service and all the associated parts with it. That's it for this video. The van's running beautifully now. We're good for another 15,000 kilometers. So looking forward to getting out and about, making some more content for you guys. With that said, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, give me a thumbs up, help me grow the channel. We're going international, guys. See you in the next one. Cheers.